Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am okay, I suppose. Starting to come to terms with the diabolical shit that's been happening of late in regards to unfettered prejudice and censorship regarding and directed towards us conservatives and independent commentators. Seems like today, if you have a single independent thought in your mind, you are some sort of criminal. Hey, a thought criminal. So today we are back. It's gone back to normal. The usual suspects in TIFA and the likes are doing the normal stuff they've always been doing, despite what the mainstream media will have you believe. These guys are not largely peaceful, not in any way, shape or form. Now here they are in Portland as usual, the home of TIFA. They are utterly enraged as usual. This time today they are enraged about a bookstore daring to sell Andy Ngo's book. His book's called Unmasked. I'm going to order it. I want to read it. It is his essentially life's work in regards to unmasking TIFA and their actions. They've not taken kindly to this. They've labelled him all of the usual words and buzzwords and catchphrases that they usually do to people that they lose arguments against. And then they've besieged the bookstore, which issued an emergency. They had to send all their staff home and help the customers. So we've got some clips to watch. Let's get into this video now. But if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell and share this video around. Retweet it. I'm on Gab, I'm on Twitter, Facebook, while I still can. If you could do those things, it only takes a moment and it really helps this channel grow. And I need your help to do that now more than ever. Thank you, and let's go. Right, so the first one, we have someone who may or may not be androgynous. I don't know, it's hard to tell. It has the form of a man, the voice of a woman. Now, look, watch the clip and then I'll give you my 2 pence for what it's worth.
Earlier, the owner of the only black bookstore here in Portland came up and told us, had some criticisms for what we were doing today. And I completely understand those criticisms, being that they sell Mein Kampf, they sell these things, but they don't sell the anarchist cookbook. But anyway, so that is I see that argument, but also at the same time, this is active fascism. Yes. There's a difference between the historical value that we get from Mein Kampf, from that thing, to not repeat that. This is different. This is active fascism that we can do something about right now. Yes. Because if you think, if Mein Kampf hadn't been published, you know what I'm saying? This is active fascism that we can fight in this moment. And this is what we have to do. We have to show up every day until they stop selling that fucking book.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so a couple of things. Selling a book is fascism. Okay, these people are college educated. Now, a long time ago, I warned what would happen. This is going back 20 years. People thought I was a kook. People thought I was crazy and all this stuff. Everything I've ever said has come true, okay? I'm not being big-headed or anything like that, but it has. In regards to politics and cultural affairs and that type of thing, it has. Now, I warned back then that all of these namby-pambies who are in college universities, I warned that one day they will leave university. I know they try and prolong their childhood as long as possible and even actively try and bring it into the adult world, but I did warn they would enter the workforce and they wouldn't go and work at a warehouse, they wouldn't dig ditches, they wouldn't work on construction sites. They were going in to Google, they were going into Amazon, they were going into the education system, they were going into media and news, and they brought their you-know-what with them. And here she is, right? Or he or she, I'm not quite sure. This person who's college educated, who thinks they're smarter than you and me, they think they're better than you and me, thinks selling a book is, quote, active fascism. Selling a book. They're selling a book. I don't like the book. That equals fascism. These people don't... See, the trick that's been played on these people, and they are useful idiots. In every... Listen, every major religion in the world will agree with me when I say that these people are useful idiots. What do I mean by that? I mean that They are the active proponents, they are the installers of fascism, okay? But they don't know it. The people who are pulling their strings have made them think that they are fighting fascism by installing fascism. Crystal Night, what they accused Donald Trump of. On that night, bookstores were smashed, and many different types of stores, not just bookstores, but you get where I'm going with this. And they had the book burnings. That was fascist. How is that different from what these people want to do? They are there, they're trying to intimidate people from entering the bookstore, they're trying to dictate to the bookstore what they can and can't sell. Why don't you just go and paint a yellow star on the door? Because that's who you are. So next we have more accosting of people by the TIFA people stood outside. And they are doing the habitual chanting ritual that has become of them.
Stop selling Andy Ngo's book!
You're on the
How can you have the
Stop
selling
Andy Ngo's book!
How can you
Stop
have the
selling Andy Ngo's book!
I don't care!
Stop selling Andy Ngo's book! 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 Stop selling.
Listen to these idiots, right? These are college educated people. Listen to them. Listen to these idiots.
Andy Ngo's book! Stop selling Andy Ngo's book! Stop selling Andy Ngo's book!
You see, when people chant, what they want is for you to comply completely with them. They don't want a discussion. They don't want the free exchange of ideas. It's like a child chanting to the parent. I want another fucking, I want this, I want that, I want another sweet, I want another candy bar.
Stop selling Andy Ngo's book!
Stop selling Andy.
We'll watch it again because I want you to know that 4 years of education at 30 grand a year put them into debt with a gender studies major has given them this, the ability to stand on a street corner all day screaming at businessmen just trying to earn a living. How much money do bookstores make in this day and age? And they have an army of petulant children who are never held accountable for their actions, screaming at them because they're upset that someone's wrote a book which unmasks them for exactly who they are.
Ngo's book.
You're on the
How can you have the
Stop
selling
selling Andy Ngo's book!
How can you
Stop
have the
selling Andy Ngo's book!
I don't care!
Stop selling Andy Ngo's book! 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 Stop selling Andy Ngo's book!
Listen to the hatred in their pathetic chants. This built on hate. I often used to scream at the TV. This is when I used to have a television when I was younger. I haven't owned a television since 2012 and I never will again. I haven't paid the BBC licence fee since about 2011, 2010, and I never will again. They always used to say that these left-wing entities were all about love and hate and peace, when they would be actively discriminating against people. And I would scream at the TV. So do you know where this is going? And now look, this is the whole thing about progressivism. Progressivism is the new word for Marxism. It's newspeak for Marxism. Left-wing types, they will carefully select the words they want to use for a project or a social justice cause or an organisation, what you name it. And they will select a word or a phrase or a name or a title so that nobody can dare question it without their character immediately coming under assault. That's why they choose the names that they do. And progressivism. Progression sounds good. Who could oppose progressivism? You must be backwards if you oppose progressivism. You must be this, that and the other. You see what I mean? Progressivism is always pushing the envelope, always revolting against something, which is awfully similar to Marxism. Marxism, the definition of Marxism, is a permanent revolution. Permanent revolution. You are always pushing the envelope. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? And finally, bloodlust. Just like, remember I said about petulant children, just because they didn't get the result they wanted, they didn't get their candy bar or their packet of sweets, because they didn't get the attention they wanted or the respect they think they you see, because at the heart of every TIFA member is a person who believes that they are a king in their own world or a queen in their own world. They believe that they are required, it's required that they are given respect, that their every whim is catered for. Their participation trophy hoard taught them that. If you went to their house or their dwelling, wherever they live, or their student chambers, you would find a closet full of participation trophies. They've been told that they are the winner no matter how many times they lose an argument or a debate or anything. That was back when we could have debates, you see, because what they want is a world where there are no debates. There's just an infinite sea of chanting morons. Anyway, take a look.
We will shut down the store. We will shut down the store every day. You will lose money every day.
Well, you see, that's something they've got to worry about now, isn't it? Losing money every day. Something that you don't have to worry about, as I alluded to in part 1 of this video, that you don't have to worry about losing money because you've got the Kamala Harrises of the world and the Bidens and the AOCs to retweet and retweet and retweet your requests for money. You don't have to worry about fundraising because the likes of GoFundMe will happily promote your project. So you can stand on the street corners every day hassling hard-working business owners who are just trying to make a buck for selling a, coincidentally, book. Sorry, that wasn't pun intended, by the way. That you disagree with, because it shows the world, the smooth brains out there, which I really do cling on to the hope that there are fewer and fewer smooth brains with every day that passes. That you are not what you claim to be, and that's what that book shows. I haven't read it yet, but I know what that's going to be, judging by your reaction. So you're going to stand on a street corner every day chanting, and you saw a minute ago that they've put their placards, their trusty placards, against the windows because shouting didn't do enough. Shouting and chanting when the manager and his assistant were outside on the doorstep, as you saw in the previous clip, that didn't work. So just in case they can't see or hear them, they're going to put their placards up because it's all about propaganda. They want to get their ideas into your skull. That's what they live for. They want to scrape out your brain and replace it with one of their placards or whatever it says on the placards. These are the people who claim that they are against every isminist you can think of. Yet they bring it. They bring the ism. They bring the ist. Take one more look and then I'll say goodbye.
We will shut down the store. We will shut down the store every day. You will lose money every day. Every day that you sell his book, we will shut down the store.
These people have evil in their hearts. They have evil. And I'm so glad that even the likes of Ted Wheeler finally woke up to this. And he said something in his last speech. Apart from calling them out by name, which I am unbiased. It might not seem that way because of how I am, but that's only because I'm railing against obvious injustices, okay? But I am impartial and I'm unbiased enough to give Ted Wheeler credit where credit's due by calling them out by name. And not only that, he said something that I knew, but it was just refreshing to see him say it. And he said that some people just want to see the world burn. And he was so right when he says that. The only problem is it's took him all this time, literally months of this type of thing, for him to realise that the people he actually went out to try to befriend TIFA and the other usual suspects, he went out and tried to befriend them, and they turned on him every time. And we tried to warn him what they were. His friends, his best friends in the whole world. We're friends. They would never do that to me. You know what they did to him when he went out to eat the other day, didn't you? Did you hear? Last week, they actually banged him in the mouth when he went out to eat. That's his friends, his best friends in the world. They would never do anything to hurt good old Teddy. So here you are, you have someone, you can tell just by the voice of him. You can tell by his voice, this guy, he demands respect, he's got an evil heart, but there is zero masculinity in this man.
We will shut down the store. We will shut down the store every day.
That is a man who wants power. That is a man who, he smiles knowing he has the power to shut down a single independently owned bookshop. That's what he likes, you see. That's what gets him up in the morning. Because he's got the power to shut down a bookstore. A little independent bookstore which will probably be out of business within a couple of years. And that's probably down to the likes of this guy here, him. Well, I hope you're proud of yourself. When you eventually get to work at Google or Facebook or Twitter and you shut down anyone who has a single independent thought in their head, I hope you put on your resume that you got a bookstore shut down because they sold a book you don't like. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this video around. That really helps me stay competitive with the likes of CNN, MSNBC, and the other smooth brains who, talking heads who will just blow smoke up your Khyber every day, and they'll tell you it's raining. Anyway, see you in the next one. Goodbye.